Let's go. Let's get it on. It's live. Thursday night. Top 5 baits coming at you one more time. It's actually not top 5 baits anymore. See, I told y'all I would monkey up this new format. I'm real good at monkeying stuff up. In fact, you might say that I specialize in monkeying stuff up. A little pull off that tee. Settle down, Beavis. Z is in the house. Zach Watts. You can always count on Zach Watts to set the tone. He's a tone setter, you might say. JD Adam, I see you, bud. Appreciate it. Hey, as you guys get in here, go ahead, drop me some comments. Let me know that y'all are here with us. Hit them thumbs up if you don't mind, man. Let's get on YouTube to jump her on up there so we can get a bunch more folks in here. Talk about something that's awesome to talk about, which is fishing, of course. We all love to fish. Man, we got some folks piling in here now. See who all we got. Say some hellos and how you doing, everybody. We got the Raging Cajun, Andrew Brennan, Big John's Life, Kevin Jones, Cody Stanley, Blake Horton, Cody Mays, Jeff Bonner, what up, cuz? Off Grid Whitetails, the Bass Fishing Mafia, and Timmy Rhodes, aka my former tournament partner, aka one crazy son of a buck. Jerry Dean, hello, hey, hi, how you doing? I hear you, Jerry Dean. I appreciate each and every one of you guys, man. Appreciate y'all so much for joining us on Top 5 Baits. Or, well, again, there I go monkey up. It's not Top 5 Baits, just Top Baits. We are going to stick to 5 baits this week, but I'm going to give you, like I did last week, a little more in-depth report of what's going on and give you my game plan for tomorrow. So, got J-O in the house, Chris Parr, awesome, man. Thank you guys for learning. So, first thing I need to tell you about my game plan tomorrow is it's greatly affected by what has happened over the last few days, as usual. But we had, not today was very calm, but the last 2 days before this, we had some extreme winds. So the 2 days before this, I spent on other lakes, small lakes, just because of the wind. And then today on my guide trip, you know, yesterday I caught them really good on one of them smaller lakes. And so for today's guide trip, I gave the guys the option. I said, hey, this is what happened today. When we go out tomorrow, which was today, do you guys want to go fish Lake Fork? Y'all want to go over here? Here's what happened to this lake. So we ended up going to that smaller lake again just because I caught them so good yesterday and caught them pretty good today. Not as good, probably just because there wasn't as much wind. But we caught them pretty good today. So I have not really been fishing fork the last few days because of the wind and just the circumstances. So my game plan is going to be based off, I'm actually fishing all these lakes the same way. The smaller lakes I'm going to, I'm fishing the same way I'm fishing fork. So the game plan is really not any different. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start off in the morning with topwaters. I'm going to show up early. I'm going to show up and show out, right? I'm going to show up real early in the morning, and I'm going to start off with topwater baits. I am finding that I'm getting more and better quality bites on my topwater baits if I get around vegetation. So therefore, that being said, the frog is my best deal. Now I'm throwing the new 6 cents frog that is yet to be released. It's coming soon, but it's very, you know, it's different. There's some differences, but it's the same category as like a Spro popping frog. It's a weedless popping frog type of deal. White has been my best color. I've been throwing multiple colors, but white has been my best color here lately. And obviously I only have one of these prototype frogs that haven't been released yet, so somebody in my boat's throwing the white Spro too. So the Spro frog is still working as well. But I'm starting off with a frog around grass. If the grass is sparse enough or if it's open water, then I'm throwing a little popper style topwater bait. The poppers have been working better than the walking baits for me. As we continue to get on in the summer, I would expect the topwater bait, the walking baits, to kind of take the place of the poppers on the little topwater baits. Usually by now they already have for me, but for whatever reason they're just biting that popper better. So we're throwing the little poppers, little small poppers. So I love how you guys in the comments always have your own conversations going. Like I see the comments flash up and then they disappear. And I always see these back and forth between you guys. It's awesome, man. Awesome. Vic Pearsall asked, real early? Yeah, like real early. Like I'm trying to hit the water around 5:45 if I can get my butt out of bed on time. That is how early I'm wanting to start. I mean, the sun's coming up. You can just barely see around 5:30, you can kind of get across the lake and see other boats. About 5:45, that's when I'm wanting to launch the boat. So we're going to do that basically for the first hour, 2 hours of the day. By the time we get to 7:45, 8 o'clock, man, we're going offshore. That's the next thing we're doing. We're going offshore. And so far, the last few days, I haven't had to leave that offshore stuff. I've been able to stay on it and find some fish and catch some fish off the bank. So I really do like catching fish out off the bank offshore when I can. A lot of times on Fork, it becomes hard to find a spot out there. Like on Fork, the offshore bite has to be real good in the summertime for you to be able to fish effectively, because so many of those spots have boats sitting on them. You can't just run and gun and pick up one or two here or one or two there if they're not biting very good and make consistent days where you're really effective. But the schools of fish are getting better, it seems like, this week. Even with the cold weather, I don't think it's affected the schools of fish too bad. It seems like, I say that I haven't been on Fork the last few days, so I don't know. Maybe the fish on Fork have scattered out with this cooler weather. I will say this, some of these smaller lakes are starting to get a thermocline. And if you look in the right places on Lake Fork and you look deep enough, you'll see a little bit of a thermocline. The more that thermocline develops, the better that offshore bite will be. But I'm going to show you guys, so my offshore baits I've been fishing this week. The number one best bait for me this week has been, get my rods untangled here, the old 6 cent swing head with a 6 cent stroker crawl. So I really like this swing head from 6 cents. It comes with a screw lock to screw your bait into on the top side here, which is a much better design than the original that you just have to thread it up like an old school Texas rig. This is going to actually save you a lot of baits. In fact, the stroker crawl that started on here this morning, when I looked at it, the poor thing, he just looked terrible, because I don't know how many fish I caught on that one bait yesterday as we wrapped up the day. But stroker crawl, I'm throwing it. This is watermelon red. Listen, I ran out of green pumpkin burst, so I started throwing watermelon red. Anything green seems to be working. It doesn't seem to be too particular on the color right now. But that's been my best bait. Stroker crawl on the old wobble head. You know what I'm saying? Wobble baby, wobble baby, wobble baby. Yeah, that deal. And then the next one is, of course, Big Perm. Big Perm has got a lot of key bites for me this week. Big Perm has been getting some good bites, some big bites. Big Perm's always good. That's a big 5/8 ounce 6 inch shaky head with a Smash Tech Magnum crawler, also affectionately known as Big Perm. If you guys follow the channel, y'all will well know that bait right there. And the third bait that I'm throwing offshore is the 6 cents Divine underspin swim bait head with a 6 cents Divine swim bait on it. This is the 4.4 in electric shiner. This is the 1/2 ounce swim bait. Throwing it out there, let it fall all the way to the bottom, and then just slow rolling it, keeping it barely above the bottom. If the fish, this really comes in handy. Some of these schools of fish are suspending a little bit, and if those fish are suspended and scattered a little bit, this bait has done a really good job. And all I'll do is I'll let it fall all the way to the bottom, then I'll lift my rod tip and start reeling it. I'll reel it a little bit faster than I do when I'm trying to keep it down. I just want that bait to kind of climb slowly through those fish, getting a lot of bites on this bait. Boy, and I'll tell you, one thing that I have seen with this bait is we pull up on a school of fish, we grab them, they're there. And maybe they're a little suspended and scattered, but they're there. We throw that stroker crawl on that swing head. We throw Big Perm out there, and we don't get a bite. If I throw this through there and I get one of them to bite, it'll make the whole school kind of fire up and start biting. And I've seen it this week where we're not getting bit. I throw this out there and I get bit on this, and then immediately the guy throwing the stroker crawl, Big Perm, gets bit right away. And then it's on, and we can catch them a few casts in a row. So this bait's been really good to kind of pull that school together, get them following something, get them chasing something, and get them to trigger and fire. So really, really handy bait right there. And the fifth bait, and this is the one that I'm resorting to when things like, I threw this one in there because I threw it a little bit today. And I got a couple bites on it. I've thrown a little bit off and on all week, but I really can't throw it on the high wind days. But when I get on an offshore spot and I can't get a bite, I really can't get a bite, and it's slicked off calms, you know, bright skies, all these tough conditions. I know a lot of guys like to go to a drop shot on Lake Fork, and it's very effective. But for me, this is kind of my drop shot type of bait. This is my ultimate finesse rig for big offshore fish. And it's a regular style shaky head, like a finesse shaky head. It's a 1/4 ounce shaky head, okay, 6 cent shaky head with a 6 cents Divine 6.3 inch shaky head worm. This worm was designed to fit this shaky head. You can see they fit together beautifully. It's the right proportion, the right hook, right size for this bait. And this is a great bait that I can fish just so extremely slow, and it's such a finesse technique. I got 15-pound line on here. Murky as our water is, no fish is ever going to see 15-pound fluorocarbon anywhere we go. Watermelon candy's been a good color. Really, again, just anything green on all my offshore baits right now seems to be anything green is the best color. I'm throwing a green pumpkin on the Magnum crawler. I'm also throwing a watermelon with a little bit of gold flake, a little custom pour that I had done. And I'm on the 6.3. I'm throwing watermelon candy, but I would also not be shy to throw green pumpkin burst or just green pumpkin or anything green right now is a deal. But when they stop biting, and a lot of times I'll pick up a bonus fish or two in a school. When that school fires and then they stop biting, I'll pick up that finesse shaky head, that quarter-ounce shaky head, throw it in there, and pick up another bite or two sometimes. So that's what I'm doing, man. I'm going shallow early with top waters, mostly throwing frogs. I want to throw the frog. I'm catching more and better fish when I do throw the frog around vegetation. But if I get in an area, find myself in an area where the vegetation is sparse and I can get away with throwing a treble hook bait, I will throw that popping bait as well. Then we got all dragon baits out deep. It's all dragon baits except for the swim bait head. So we got the big shaky head, we got the big wobble head, we got the finesse shaky head, and then we got the divine underspin swim bait with that divine swim bait on it as well. That bait's been incredible. That little swim bait's really been a key bait when I'm not catching fish to get those schools far. I'm telling you, it's been a really cool bait this week. Today especially worked really well today. Alright, let's scroll back up here and start checking some questions. Let's see y'all how many questions I missed. Looks like you guys have been having fun chit-chatting with each other in the comments as you always do, which is pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Oh, one more announcement before we get going. So the tournament is all set. I know you guys are probably getting tired of hearing me saying, but we're gonna plug it till we get there. So July 4th and 5th, we're gonna have kind of a two tournaments in one weekend there. July 4th will be an open team tournament, $100 entry. I want all you guys to subscribe that can get there. I want every one of y'all there. It's also open to anybody. Anybody can come fish it. The big deal is we're trying to raise some money for 22 Kill, which is a great nonprofit military-oriented organization. They work towards helping prevent veteran suicide. Big deal. Big deal to help this cause for me personally. This is a big deal. So I want to do this thing big, do it right. And we've got them involved. We've got Whiskey Myers, the great, probably the best band on earth involved. We've got Smash Tech Custom Baits. We got Victory Fishing is going to help us with some weighing facilities. We've got Sixth Sense Fishing, of course. So, and more sponsors to come in the weeks ahead. We're still working on all that. We're going to have a tournament, two-man, $100 open tournament. It's $100 per team, and 30% of that's going to go to 22 Kill. 70% of that is going to get paid back to you guys, so you will have a chance to win some money in this deal. We're going to have great auction items available for you guys to bid on and show your charitable, whatever they call it, show your charity and spend some money on auction items at the auction. And then we're going to have a guides tournament on Sunday where you can actually team up with the guide of your choice for Sunday's tournament, a totally separate deal. And we're going to have a silent auction where you guys can bid on the guide partner you want. Now, you got to buy your guide, you got to bid on him to get him. But you win, you get your guide, you win your auction on your guide, and he's going to be your tournament partner on Sunday in a MLF style tournament. We're going to weigh them in the boat. Every fish over 2 pounds counts. We're going to have hourly updates. It's going to be a ton of fun. You know, that day is going to be more about just donating some money to the cause. All the money generated from the guys tournament is going to get donated to the cause. And it's going to be a good time. And I know you guys are going to show up and show out because I always say it. I don't have the biggest fan base, but I do believe I have the best. I'm finally caught. Well, I'm calling on y'all right now. I'm calling on y'all to show off. Now, y'all got to show up and show out for me. Y'all got to make me proud, and I know that y'all will. So, can't wait for that to go down. That's gonna be a lot of fun. Lake Fork Marina is where the seminars are filmed. Yeah, apparently somebody's asking about Lake Fork Marina. The pavilion outside is where we're doing the seminars right now, just to keep us from being too crowded and cramped inside with everything that's going on. Bass Raider says he'll be there. Awesome. found 90s water temps and been whacking them in 5 to 7 foot of water. Zach Watts is totally full of it. There's no truth to what he's saying there. I have no idea what he's talking about. The water temps ain't 90 degrees anymore, not after the last few mornings. I can tell you that, bud. I know you probably been working. You ain't been on the water the last few days. Andrew Brennan, water is in the mid 90s here. Would you still run the shallow pattern early? Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's ever a bad time to fish shallow. I think throughout the entire summer, it's never a bad idea to fish shallow early. I mean, there are times when fishing deep early pays off, but I don't think it's ever a bad time in the summer to fish shallow early. I think that's always a good, solid starting point. Cody May says, I'll auction myself off, not good at much but eating to help the cause. Yeah, you and me both, brother. You and me both. Kozak, I want to book a trip with you since Camp Bass is canceled. When is the best time? When is the best time to fish Lake Fork, or when is the best time to book a trip? Right now, I can tell you, my July just got full. Me personally, my July just got full. So I'm full, and August has 2 days available. So I have 2 dates in August. Then after that, I have September dates available. The best time to fish Fork as far as the most consistent fishing results in the spring, it's like March 20 to like June 10, typically. And in the fall, it's like October 10th to Thanksgiving, basically, is the peak of the fall. So I can get you on some fall dates. I got some good fall dates available for sure. John Higginbotham, I'm going to try to be there working on my boat, taking it out of mothballs for the first time in 7 years. But you better dig in, brother. You got some work to do. We do hope to see you there. We would sure appreciate it if you did make it, man. That's for sure. What's the fishing like on Lake of the Ponds? Lake of the Ponds is a really good lake. It's a lake that I wish I got a chance to fish. I have not had hardly any time on Lake of the Ponds. Probably a handful of times, maybe over the years that I've been to Lake of the Ponds. I really enjoy it every time I go. I really do. Years ago, I had one of the better frogging days I've ever had there. I've had some awesome flipping days, and I like frogging and I like flipping. So, and I know it's got a good offshore bite on it too, especially down on the southern end, man. So it's some river channel stuff up north. Like Lake of the Ponds is a very diverse and very good fishery, and it has some big fish in it. When they go to biting out there, if you're in a tournament, you better catch a big old sack of fish if you want a chance. Big John said he's been going to ponds in the mornings. It's been good. We appreciate that, Big John. I'm sure it is. I'm sure you can find any type of flooded bushes or cover and catch a frogfish or two on Lake of the Ponds early right now. Chris Parr said I fished shallow Tuesday and Wednesday at Gilmore, tore them up. Oh, wait, we don't say the G word. God dog it, I just said the G word live. Dang you, Chris Parr. You got me. All these years, I've never said the G word out loud live, and I just did it. You got me, Chris Parr. He said Saturday he caught some around Camp Joy on Lake of the Ponds. I don't doubt it. Camp Joy is awesome. I had a great flipping day in there last year. Where can I get the boat lane ship? They sell the boat lane ship for Lake Fork in pretty much all the marinas. Lake Fork Marina has them, Oak Ridge Marina, all the marinas carry them. Barrett Benefield says he's ready for July 16th. It's coming in hot, baby. It's coming up quick. We will be talking here very, very soon, Barrett. We'll get out there and get after them. Barrett's got a guide trip book with me. Oh, July 16th, not June. Well, I'm losing my mind. July 16th. Yeah, about a month away. What's been the average on daily fish count? Man, I'm the worst at counting fish. A lot, enough, like plenty. The last few days, like the last couple of days anyway, it's like plenty. You will have a stinker day mixed in there sometimes here lately, but for the most part, the fish count's been plenty. I don't know. I'm the worst at counting fish. I don't know. I could start guessing, but I'd be lying to you, to be honest with you. How's Palestine? You know, I haven't been on Palestine. I went one time with Ronnie in the winter. We did a little jerkbait deal out there and filmed it. And y'all probably saw that episode. Those of you that watch all the videos saw that episode. I will say this. I know that I want to say, no, that was Tawakoni, them boys. I don't know how Palestine's fishing. I don't know. I haven't heard anything on Palestine lately. I know the boys from Van just won Anglers of the Year in their region. Oh, big shout out to the boys from Van High School, the Van High School bass fishing team, which is my hometown. I live in Van. My kids go to Van schools, so I'm a Van Vandal, baby. The high school fishing team, one of the teams from Van, just won Angler of the Year in their region. So congratulations to them. They had a tournament earlier, like in the wintertime on Pines, where they caught like 30-something pounds, like some stupid bag, ran away with it. Looked like they had a big day on Tawakoni the other day too, caught some really good fish, and won Angler of the Year in the region. So very, very proud of our boys, Van, Texas. I know I think one of the kids' name is Hut Reeves, and I can't remember the other kid's name. But awesome job to them, man. Congrats. That was really, really cool. I don't ever talk to these kids. I've actually fished with several of the boat captains from Van, the parents and stuff that do the boat captain, but not the one that captains that team that won the region. But I do watch from a distance what my Van Vandals do on the bass fishing team, and they represented this year, no doubt, no doubt. Electronics, mine are old. How essential to have better electronics to find offshore fish? What do I need to spend? Any recommendations? Oh, God. Man, the bottom line is, and I'm not trying to sell you anything here, but the bottom line is if you don't have some of the newest, latest, and greatest electronics, you are flat out at a disadvantage. You are. Like, you're straight up at a disadvantage if you don't have some pretty dang new, pretty dang expensive graphs. They've gotten better and better and better, and the more you can identify fish and see fish, it turns offshore structure fishing into sight fishing. When you get really handy with them and you can identify everything down there, man, you can mark them, and then when you get handy with boat positioning and positioning your boat correctly, like, you know you're casting your bait to that fish every time. I can't overstate how important modern electronics are. They're very important. You can get by with some not as expensive. You can buy, you know, right now you could probably go buy a Lowrance HDS Gen 3 and you have a really good unit that'll do a really good job for you. But if you get the carbon, it's going to be better than the Gen 3. And then the side imaging on the Lowrance live units is better, like significantly better than my carbons were last year. So they improve every year. Like, you do need to kind of have the latest and greatest if you want the best. There's nothing wrong with making do and fishing with the other stuff. I mean, you're talking to a guy, I fished out of a plastic boat. I fished out of a 93 model, 17-foot glass boat that I used to fish tournaments out of with one Lowrance HDS 5, like the original Lowrance HDS 5. Oh, and I thought that was the deal when I had sonar and a map on a graph. Like color sonar HDS. Dude, I thought I could see everything then. So you can do it without, but you are at a disadvantage. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Cody Mays, this is a great question. What do you do if your partner is like a bitter old woman / devil reject looking fool? Well, you probably need to tell Vic that you don't really like fishing with him. He's pretty ugly and he smells funny. But, and then you need to go find a new partner. I'm just kidding. Vic's awesome, man. Vic's my boy, dude. Don't be talking bad about my boy like that. Michael Minute, new viewer coming at you from Conroe, Texas. So ironically, Michael, you'll appreciate it. I grew up in that area. I graduated from Oak Ridge High School down there just outside of Conroe, and now I lost my boat at Oak Ridge Marina quite a bit. So that's kind of ironic, but yeah, man, that's where I grew up. I fished Lake Conroe a bunch growing up. You my old stomping grounds, homeboy. I played my football back in the day at Buddy Moorhead Stadium. What you know about that? Kerry Daniels says, last question. I'm not sure if I answered your other questions, to be honest with you, and I apologize if I didn't. Sometimes these comments come in faster than I can keep up with. Last question. What's a good way for me to get involved with a fisherman or a club in this area? Just moved here 6 months ago and want to get involved with a club and the fishing community. Okay, so I'll tell you what I'm going to tell you to do, okay? Man, there's a lot of bass clubs around here, but I can tell you what you can do. I actually have a gentleman that helps me with booking trips and scheduling stuff because I get so busy with all the social media content, sometimes I have a hard time keeping up with everything. So if you will text my phone number that's on the yourlakefortguide.com website, the guy that will actually get that text is my buddy Chris Blackman, and he fishes in a bass club, and they have a good group of guys, and they have a lot of fun. It's a very laid-back atmosphere, and for a beginner, it's a really good club. And it's right here in this area around East Texas. They fish, you know, Athens and Palestine, and I think they're going to Tawakoni here in a couple weeks or next week or something. They fish all these lakes in this region. Great club. I can't remember the name of the club off the top of my head, but if you'll text the number that's on my website and tell that guy you're looking for information on the bass club that he fishes in, not me, but him, he'll help you out, man. He's a great guy, and he'll help you out. Blake Doughty says 60 plus people here and only 17 likes. Something's not right. I mean, I'll tell you what's not right. It's the host. I'm just not very likable, dog. That's all it is to it. What's the thin plant called? I don't know what you're talking about. Sunglasses and frog, when are they dropping? Sunglasses are dropping tomorrow. The sunglasses, so 6 Cents is launching a new pair of sunglasses. They're actually not going to be called 6 Cents, but they're going to be called Waterland. I think there was already some eyewear somewhere that was named 6 Cents, so they couldn't use that. It's unfortunate. But there's some glasses called Waterland that I have been wearing most of this year. If you guys have been watching the video, you've been seeing some new shades on me. They have as good of a lens as I've ever put on my face. I can see as good or better with those glasses as any pair of glasses, and that includes some actual glass lenses. They are very, very, very clear lenses, and they are going to be priced unbelievably well. They are launching tomorrow. You can actually go order some tomorrow. Here's the deal. These glasses are going to be priced, I believe their regular suggested retail is going to be like $150 or $164, something like that. But they're going to run a 25% off deal on these glasses to launch them for the first, I don't know how long it's going to last. I don't know. So you need to go order them up quick. But 25% off right now off the bat. Then you punch in the code. You go order them. You punch in the code. You can punch in the same Your Lake Fort Guide code on Waterland as you can on 6 Cents. Okay? So go punch in the code Your Lake Fort Guide when you order your Waterland shades. That's going to get you another 10% off, which is going to bring your price down. I think it's $102 and change. So $100. That's about half the price for any other glasses that are anywhere close to comparable to these. It is the best deal on eyewear as far as the quality of eyewear you're getting for that price that I have ever seen in this industry. So I would 100% recommend you go check out Waterland Eyewear, which launches tomorrow, and punch in that code Your Lake Fort Guide. Would you use the 7/0 shaky head hook on, which that's the 5/8 ounce 6 Cent shaky head, has that big 7/0 hook in it? Would you use that on all the Divine shaky worm sizes? No, I would only use it on the biggest. When I use that 6.3 or that 7-inch, I go down to 1/4, 3/8, something like that. I do not use that big giant shaky head with that big giant hook on the smaller shaky head worms. It just overpowers a worm. It limits the action. It's just too much. It doesn't fit. You won't get bit as much. Tony Hollingsworth said, "Night bud, been up since 3 a.m. I hear you, dog. I've been up since 4. And I'm going to be up at 4 tomorrow, too. Every day, baby." Have you ever fished Lake Amistad? I'm down here in South Texas, hitting it up this weekend. Just don't know where to go in a Highland-style lake. It's a different lake. I've never been on it. It is a very different lake. It's super clear. I don't know if they still have all that grass in there like they used to. I've never been on Lake Amistad, so I don't really know what to tell you. I know this time of year I would be leaning on my electronics, man. I'd get on that Navionics, I'd get on that map card, I'd get on Navionics web app at night, and I would search for really good looking structure somewhere in probably 20 foot of water, 25 foot of water. I'd find me several spots to run and graph. I'd try to have me 15, 20, 25 locations that I wanted to run to and graph tomorrow. And I would probably, unless there was like obvious grass lines, if there was obvious grass lines, I would go fish a grass line with deep water close to it. Start off on that with a top water of some kind. Immediately from that, I would go graphing every spot I could until I found a couple pieces of structure that were holding some fish. Okay, now I know, are they on points, are they on humps, are they on ledges, what are they on? Creek bend, river bend, what are they on? Once I found a couple schools of fish relating to the same type of structure, I would then get back on my Navionics, find as many pieces of structure that looked like that as I could, and keep running those and catching every school of fish I could using my electronics. That's how I would approach Lake Amistad if I was going there for the first time tomorrow. I would do my homework on the map and then go get after it. What is the website going to be for Waterland? I'm actually going to make posts about it tomorrow on the launch. I don't know, man. I got an email about it earlier. I didn't memorize it the first time I read it, and I'm sorry. I just don't know. But I will make some social media posts on Facebook and Instagram tomorrow about Waterland glasses and give you guys the link. What are some other good shaky head style baits? You know, this time of year I kind of throw that straight tail worm more than anything else. Now I will tell you, there's a new prototype I've had my hands on that I haven't shown anybody because I don't know when or if it's even coming out. But I call it a reaper worm, but it's a big old like 10, 11 inch worm that's like almost all tail. It's very unique. Very, very, very unique. Man, I really like it on a shaky head. It's real good. But I pretty much stick, as far as baits that are available on the market right now, I stick to that straight tail worm this time of year. Other times of year, I will actually throw little creature baits on shaky heads up shallow. I'll throw baby brush hogs, I'll throw crawl tubes, who remembers old crawl tubes back in the day? I know ZW does. Timmy Rhodes, you probably do too. But I will throw some little creature baits and stuff like that on shaky heads in the springtime and in the fall sometimes. For me, my deep water shaky head stuff, it's pretty much straight tail worms. It always has been. It's like, man, if it ain't broke, you know, don't break it. How long until 6 Cents makes their own big straight tail worm? They already do. They already have a big giant version of the 6 Cents Divine shaky worm. Man, I choose to use that smash tech worm because I believe in it, and I got to have a hand in launching it and bringing it to the market. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's amazing. It has no salt. I really believe in it. I've caught so many big fish on it, so I will not ever bail on the Magnum Crawler, aka Big Perm. But 6 Cents does make a bigger version of this right here, which is a very good worm in its own right? This is a very good worm. This is the worm I throw on my shaky head, my smaller shaky heads. And they make a bigger version of that that's also very good. And anything that you guys want to order at 6 Cents Fishing, man. I know at least one guy said he was a new subscriber. I'm seeing some new names I don't want to miss in here. So for those of you that may not know, anything you go order from 6centsfishing.com, when you check out, be sure you punch in the code Your Lake Fork Guide. It'll get you a 10% discount on anything you order there. Just like the Waterland Eyewear website, you can punch in the same Your Lake Fork Guide code. Timmy Rose says, I still throw a tube, old school tube. That's right. That's right. Z-Dub says, yeah, boy, the crawl tube was the deal. So I still have a whole box full of crawl tubes. I stocked up on them suckers before they quit making them. I've got a ton of crawl tubes that I hold on to and pull out like, it's like that break glass in case of emergency. I only pull them crawl tubes out on special occasions. But I've held on to them for a long time. I've got them buried under everything. Nobody will ever find my crawl tubes. What's that? Better not nobody lay a finger on my butterfish. Better not nobody lay a finger on my crawl tubes on me, I'm telling you. Emiliano Gomez, what do you recommend for electronics and trolling motor? And says, I also caught a 6.5 on one of them fish. That's awesome, dude. You caught a 6.5 on a Fish Life app spot. Hey, Emiliano, do me a favor, man. Send that pic to us. We want to see that fish. We want to post that fish on the Fish Life Instagram page. So send that pic to us. Text it to us at the number on the Your Lake Fork Guide website. DM us on Instagram, Facebook, whatever. Send us that picture. As far as what do I recommend for electronics and trolling motor, I'm using the brand new Lowrance Live units. I have the live site transducer, all that stuff, and I'm using a 12 and a 9. I'm really happy with those Lowrance Live units. The ease of use is so good. You can adjust them how you want them really easy. You can get through pages. You can create pages, edit pages. Lowrance has always been known for a couple things. A, the best sonar in the game, hands down. They still got that going. There's no argument there. And then B, the ease of use, like user-friendly. Lowrance is so user-friendly. Now, as far as the trolling motor goes, I went with that new Lowrance Ghost trolling motor this year, and really was going kind of just on word of mouth of a couple guys that I trusted. I could not be more pleased with that trolling motor. It is significantly quieter than the Ultrex was. The spot lock is way more like, the spot lock, when you first hit the button, it'll go back and forth and get locked in. But once it locks in, it doesn't wiggle. Like these high winds we've had the last couple of days, when that spot lock locks in, it never budges. I had one offshore school yesterday that was so good and lasted so long. I was on one spot probably for 2+ hours. And that spot lock never budged, never got off track, never lost signal. That Ghost trolling motor, it's quiet. It's easier to get in and out of the water because they built this lift assist deal in it. It automatically straightens the head when it racks itself. Like, you can customize the buttons on the foot pedal. Like, that Lowrance Ghost trolling motor is the deal, man. I'm telling you, it's unbelievable. What would I throw tomorrow morning in Lake Fork? We talked about that at the beginning of the video, but I'm going to start off with a frog around some grass edges first thing in the morning. Andrew asked, Billy, which model am I wearing in the Waterland? I have a bigger head. So right now, the model I've been wearing lately, it fits really well, is the Milliken. The Milliken model in Waterland. They've got one named Milliken because, you know, Ben Milliken's a big deal. But, yeah, the Milliken's been the one I wear. It's really good. I honestly haven't gotten to try out all the models yet, to be honest with you. So I'm going to actually order some more tomorrow. I'm going to order me a few more pairs tomorrow and really kind of go through the different models and see which one I like best. What's my favorite frog rod? Man, so this is the one I'm throwing it on. This rod's brand new. This is a Lux Series rod from 6 Cents. It's a 7.5 heavy with a fast action. There's also a 7.6 heavy. This may not be the production model, but I really like the 7.5 heavy with a fast action. One thing I like about it, the handle's a little bit shorter than most rods this long, which is great for a frog when you're sitting there doing this. Like, that short handle comes in handy, right? But that's the rod. I know that's backwards, but if you can read backwards, 7.5 heavy, fast action, 6 Cents Lux Series rod. It's ideal, man. It's perfect for throwing a frog. It really, really, really is. Make sure you put a high-speed reel on a frog rod. High-speed reel is important on a frog rod. A lot of times those fish hit it on the surface and you jerk them with that big rod and that braid, and they come right at you when you jerk them because you got that big old rod and that braid. So you need a high-speed reel to catch up to them. Oh, it's not backwards. The writing wasn't backwards? Okay, good deal. Is a trip out the Fork worth it this time of year without electronics? Never been there. Fished Caddo most of my life. Well, so Caddo's a really shallow fishery. It's a totally different type of fishery than Fork is. But there's parts of Lake Fork that fish like Caddo. So yes, you can come to Lake Fork without electronics this time of year and have great success. You need to hunt the grass down. You really need to hunt the grass down. That's a deal, okay? If you're going to fish shallow on Fork in the summertime, you need to find the vegetation. The vegetation's growing really well this year. Hopefully we don't have any spraying this year. As long as we keep them spray boats off Lake Fork, man, the grass should continue to grow really well. It has done phenomenal this year. So we were down to almost none last year, and it's come back. You can find grass in pretty much all the upper reaches, like the northern ends of all the major arms and creeks. Like, if you know, the upper half of the west side, the upper half of the east side, the upper end of Birch Creek, like, you can find grass in all those places now. And really, even down on the main lake, we're starting to have pockets of grass pop up here and there. So the grass is doing really well. As long as you find that, you can catch some fish shallow. And buddy, I'm gonna tell you, you get in some of the areas that got a bunch of grass, and some big fish will live there year round. There ain't no doubt about it. I've caught them in the dirt, not in the dirt, but I've caught them shallow around grass in the summer every single year since I've been fishing here. Every single year. So don't be shy to come. The thing about Lake Fork is people always ask, when's the best time to come here? And there are times that your odds are better, more consistent fishing that time of year, blah, 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 whatever. You can come to Lake Fork and have a tough day. Lake Fork can be the toughest lake you've ever fished sometimes. It just can. That being said, there's never a wrong or bad time to come to Lake Fork, because at the end of the day, the bottom line, the moral of the story is, There's more giant bass swimming around in Lake Fork than there is any other body of water around here. Like, period. I mean, it's been proven. There's data to back this up. Any trip to Lake Fork, you never know what is going to bite when. Like, you just don't. You never know when a 11 or 12 pounder is going to bite. You never know when a 10 pounder is going to bite. Man, my personal biggest fish is only a 10-6. I've had 3 in the boat over 12, but I don't catch very many of the giants in my boat because I'm always trying to make other people catch them on guide trips. My personal biggest is a 10-6. Well, I caught that fish in like middle June, as far back in the creek as you can get. So, I mean, it was hot that day too. I remember that it was smoking hot that day. It's never a bad time to come because the truth of the matter is, that fish of a lifetime, that possibility is always so very real in Lake Fork. And that is what has made it so popular. It's what makes it so crowded. That's why there's so many guides on Lake Fork, is everybody knows. Everybody that comes there knows. And if they don't, they soon find out that if they make enough trips there, they will find out that the fish of a lifetime is it can happen at any moment. You never know. So it is what it is. Man, we've gone long tonight. We've gone long. We went a little over our normal time. Good time now on Fork for big spoons. Yes, not a lot of bites on big spoons, but you can catch some big fish on big spoons. And I'm going to tell you something. If you're fishing an offshore spot, you grab some fish, okay? Especially if some of those fish you grabbed were suspended, and you're fishing that offshore spot, you're fishing. If you see, like, not little minnows and stuff, not them little flicks that you see, but if you see showing up like big hand-length shad go to pop it out of the water and running for their life, if you throw a flutter spoon over there by that, odds are you're fixing to catch a big one. Because that is gizzard shad that are getting pinned up to the surface by big bass. And if you let that flutter spoon fall down in there, and you don't even have to let it fall all the way bottom, let it fall some, jerk it up, let it fall some, jerk it up. You'll actually, if you watch Monday's video, I'm on a different lake now, but it's a lake that patterns just like Lake Fork. If you watch Monday's video, you'll see me see some fish come up schooling, and I make a couple casts with a flutter spoon and catch like the biggest fish of the day on that flutter spoon after I saw that gizzard shad jump out of the water. Same deal in Lake Fork. Anytime you see gizzard shad offshore start jumping out of the water, get that flutter spoon over there as soon as you can. Yeah, no, we're not catching just a ton of fish on the flutter spoon, but we are getting a big bite or two once in a while on it. Am I using a 3.2 or a 3.8 Divine swim bait on a swim jig? 3.8. 3.8. So here's what I use. I use the 3.2s on my Alabama rigs. I like to use the 3.8s for trailers on swim jigs, chatterbaits, whatever. And then I like to use the 4.4 for a standalone bait on a jig head, on a weedless hook. That's how I use those sizes. Do I trim it up at all to flatten the nose? No, I don't, because on that Divine swim bait, let me find it. If you look on that Divine swim bait, this one was not trimmed out one bit. See how flat that nose already is? It snugs up to those jigs and chatterbaits and everything just right. Snugs up to the swim bait head. It was designed like that for a reason. It's got a little cup that you can't see here, but when you screw it into a screw lock on a regular weedless swim bait hook, the screw lock goes right in the middle of it, perfect dead center every time because of the way it's designed. It also snugs it up to these jig heads and swim jigs and stuff like that perfectly. That's a really well designed bait, man. There's a guy named Philip Jones that works for 6 Cents that designs a lot of these new plastics and stuff, and this guy's like mad scientist, mad hatter, unbelievably good bait designer they got down there, and that dude sits in an office with a 3D printer and makes magic happen on a daily basis. It's unbelievable. Where can you buy flutter spoons? Man, any of the marinas. I know Lake Fork Marina sells more of the Big Joe flutter spoons than anywhere else, and the Big Joe flutter spoons are the ones that I prefer. How do you, Troy Man says, how do you keep the fish from throwing the spoon? All of them seem to immediately come to the top and try to spit it. They do. Actually, I'm not, that's a long discussion. I'm not going to get into it. We've been going 45 minutes already. But what I will tell you is if Sunday on this channel, this Sunday, we did a seminar. The second half of the seminar, I went in depth on how I set up my spoon, the rod and reel I throw it on, how I keep from losing fish on a flutter spoon. You can actually see that this Sunday evening, and I'll explain every detail of it, every single detail of it, and why and everything. So that's a great question, but man, that's one that takes a long time to answer. So be sure and check out that video. just got some weedless poachers from Smash Tech. Any thoughts? Yeah, great purchase. Great purchase. Those poachers are really good. You got to throw them on a big hook, but they are some fish catching fools. I know Mr. Bill Wilcox. I don't know if I'm supposed to tell this information or not. I might be getting myself in trouble by telling this, but Mr. Bill Wilcox from Honey Hole Outdoors won a tournament earlier this year on that poacher swim bait that you just bought, and caught a big bag of fish when he won that tournament. So, great bait. Man, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up, guys. Hey, come check us out July 4th and 5th. We're going to go do a big benefit tournament for 22 kill. Hope to see each and every one of you there, as many as you can. Even if you can't fish the tournament, show up that evening for the auction, hang out, moral support. Just come chill with us, man. It's going to be like a big, giant subscriber meetup. You guys can come hang out. I'm going to be out there all day, all night. I won't leave till the last one of y'all is gone. I will be there as long as y'all are there, Saturday and Sunday. So I am greatly looking forward to that opportunity to meet a bunch of new guys that have been watching the channel. That'll be a great deal. And more importantly than that, I'm really looking forward to trying to do something as big as we can, you know, for a very good cause that means a whole lot to me personally with 22 Kill, going to take care of our veterans that are struggling mentally. So we need to do that, man. Hey, thank y'all so much for watching tonight, and we will see y'all next time right here on your Lake Fork Guide.